In October of 1970, Robert E. Howard inked onto the pages the character of Conan the Barbarian. 12 years later, in 1982, they brought Conan to the big screen in a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And a couple years after that, they made a sequel, which is lesser in many ways. But through all of the ups and downs that the Conan character has been through, what we're talking about today is a big up because we're talking about the brand new release of Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer on 4K from Arrow Video in this amazing new 4K box set for the Conan Chronicles. How's it going, everyone? I'm JT, the Talking Head. You are the audience. Let's get into it. Before we get started today, I wanted to show you guys this new t-shirt that I got. It's obviously got a dinosaur and a big monkey. I wonder who that could be. And it says Movie Buddies on it. This shirt was created along with many others that I absolutely love by my good friend and co-host of my podcast, Master of Matinee, Teo the Terminator. If you are interested in this design or any of the other designs that he's made, which all involve movies and physical media and filmmaking, his link to his Etsy will be in the description below. This is not a sponsored advertisement. Teo is just a good friend. I really, really love these t-shirts, and I think that you will too. All right, so let's talk about Conan. Conan the Barbarian is one of those movies that I had to check myself with as far as the nostalgia bug goes, because I saw this movie when I was probably 8, 9, maybe 10 years old with my dad. The first Conan. It was at the time the most brutal and violent movie I'd ever seen. It was the first time I ever saw a naked woman in a movie, and it was just an all-around pretty awesome experience. I loved the Conan movies as a kid, and when they re-released these, I hadn't seen them since I was a kid, so I needed to kind of turn off my nostalgic childhood brain and go back and try to see if these movies actually hold up, if they're actually good movies. And I gotta say, yeah, they do. Well, at least the first one does. The second one I have some problems with. So the first Conan the Barbarian movie follows Conan as he's a little kid and he sees his family and all his entire people get slaughtered in front of him. He gets dragged into slavery and learns how to fight and forced to kill and fight in these like barbaric gladiator type arenas. One day he finally gets freed from his chains, and that starts his revenge quest. Conan sets out to absolutely obliterate this snake worshipping cult called the Children of Doom and their leader, Tulsa Doom, who is played by none other than the absolutely legendary James Earl Jones. And there's even a point in this movie where he calls Conan his son, and he is like, I am your father.
My child, you have come to me, my son. For who now is your father if it is not me? What will your world be without me? My son. My son.
And I just really feel like they were really going for for the we got James Earl Jones. We gotta have him say I'm your father here. And it's a wonderful, wonderful like scene. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's crazy. And man, I loved Conan the Barbarian. It was so brutal. There are so great blood and gore effects and awesome like decapitations and just like it's great. There are some things that slow it down. I personally think that some of like the sex scenes and the nudity, um, even though I don't want to say tone it down, I just feel like they kind of slowed the story down. But at the same time, I could see what they were going for. They were kind of showing that hey, Conan, he's a man and he fucks. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's the first Conan movie is great. Where I take issue is in the second Conan movie, and there are some serious issues that I take with it. First and foremost, the second Conan movie was rated PG instead of R like its predecessor. And that was because they wanted to make more money at the box office. They thought that would work. Um, I don't I don't have the box office numbers here. I might maybe should, but I don't. But I don't think it made more than Barbarian. But man, it really hurts because of it. But however, surprisingly, even for being rated PG, there's still a surprisingly good amount of gore. There's even one decapitation in the movie, lots of blood slinging. It's just not as brutal as the first movie. And to me, I think that it could have benefited from being more brutal. Another big thing they changed is the first movie, though there was magic and wizardry and fantasy and stuff like that. This movie, Destroyer, kind of leaned way more into the fantasy element of it. And they tried to lean a lot more into like what the comic book was based on with the mythology and all that. And I it works in some parts, it doesn't work in other parts. One thing I will say is the creature effect at the end of it. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a creature at the end of it had some of the most grotesque gore effects. It kind of looked like something out of Charles Band's arsenal. It was nuts. But then for every gore effect like that, there was another gore effect like when he's in the ice castle glass mirror place, and there's like that mirror like monster, and that makeup effect looks awful, absolutely terrible. Um, a couple other things that I have issue with are the side characters in the first one really felt impactful. Valera and like she was an amazing badass woman who really added a lot of depth to Conan's character, but with the absence of her, you just kind of have Conan going around hitting people with a sword, getting drunk, and being sad. And it's honestly kind of depressing. Other characters like Zula, the amazing warrior girl in Destroyer, she was actually really cool, but she just didn't have much character depth to add to Conan's story, I felt like. However, I did think that she was super badass. Conan's hapless best friend, Malik, kind of just appears in the beginning of the movie out of nowhere. He wasn't in the Barbarian movie. We don't really know his backstory or what happened in between. Now, I know there's TV shows based on the Conan franchise, so I don't know if Malik kind of appears in those, and that kind of explains where he came from. But I felt like there was no need for him. He was just the comedic relief, which in some cases can be good, but in a movie like this, I don't know. It just kind of felt overly cheesy. He also was kind of annoying the way that he always tried to like take credit for like other people's shit. So it's like if Conan kills something, then Malik will go and stab the dead body with a dagger and stand on top of it and pose and be just it's cringy. I don't like Malik. Um, the biggest complaint that I have in this movie is the princess. What's her name? Princess Jenna. She was played by Olivia uh, Diabo, and at the time when this movie was filming, she was 14 years old. Uh, that's a little bit icky, especially because they have her in kind of scantily clad, a lot of cleavage showing. And then there's a scene at the end of the movie where she kisses Conan. Now, to the filmmakers and Arnold Schwarzenegger's credibility, Conan does not kiss her back because it's canon in the story that Conan uh, believes that there is no one that can replace Valera as his queen. So obviously, he's not going to have any kind of affection for this young girl. And I don't know if that necessarily fixes it, though. Uh, the fact is, they still put a 14-year-old girl in a role that was very sexual. She was coming on to Conan, who Arnold Schwarzenegger was probably in his late 20s, maybe even early 30s at the time of filming this in 1984. Um, it just had the ick factor to it. I was not a fan of that. I don't know how it's really defensible. I feel like they should have just cast somebody that was older, or just not give her those character traits of being super horny for Conan. It was just really uncomfortable to watch. But I will say that Olivia d'Abo, however you pronounce her name, was actually a really great actress in it, and her character was fun to watch, like when she wasn't being cringy. But I don't know. I give Conan the Barbarian a strong four to maybe 4.5 out of 5. Conan the Destroyer is a 2.5 out of 5. That movie should have been way more brutal and violent and R rated, and it wasn't. It was just lackluster compared to the original movie. Now, what I will say that these watching these movies again made me really want to do is go back and watch the Red Sonja movie from, I think, 1985, that came out right after Destroyer. And where they didn't have the rights to use the Conan character, so Conan, or Schwarzenegger, uses a different name, as he plays a different character, but he's basically Conan in Red Sonja. Um, I've never seen that movie, but I do want to go watch it now, because I'm kind of on this like Conan kick. I want to go back and read some of my old Conan comics and stuff. But and also they're remaking Red Sonja this year, so that's pretty cool. All right, enough babbling on about Conan and all that, and all my nostalgia and all my thoughts on the movie. Let's get into what you actually came here for. I know my audience, you only really care about the physical media, and this set, I gotta say, it's only February, man, but this might be already my favorite box set of the year. This set is in freaking incredible. First off, it's got like this sheen and shine to it. It really glimmers. I absolutely love this. I love the cover art. The back is really pretty too, although there's not much to it. And there's the side. Now, the discs come in two individual cases, 4K cases. I do have some complaints about what we're going to find here, but before I do that, I will show you the J card. If you would like to pause this and read all that information, you are more than welcome to. Let's talk about disc one. We got Conan. Now, this is a 2 disc set. We have the 4K UHD feature on the first disc, and then we have a Blu-ray with all the bonus features. Opening it up, we have some art cards. I'll go through these. We also get an advertisement for New Fist of Fury from Arrow. I like that Arrow does these little advertisement cards. I've thought about taking the ones that I have and actually like making a collage out of them and hanging it up, because they're like little movie posters. Then we have your disc one and disc two with two different disc artworks. I'm a big fan of that. What I'm not a big fan of is the reversible art. It's not like a reversible like display art. It's like inner artwork. Like, nobody is going to put this on their case. And if they are, I think they're crazy. So, what's the point in having this? Because you have a black 4K case. This works if you have a clear case, but not a black 4K case, where I'm never going to see this. Like, I can pretty much guarantee you, sliding this back in right now after this review is the last time I will ever see that artwork, or well, that picture. Um, because I never will have any reason to open this up and take that out again. It would make much more sense if this was either a clear case, or if it had alternative cover art. Also, the lobby cards have the movie poster on the back of them. All of them do. It's really neat. All right, let's get into the Destroyer. It's the same kind of deal. We get the disc. Only one disc, only the 4K disc on this one. No bonus features disc because I think they just included all the bonus features disc. Went ahead and did that on the 4K. Here are our lobby cards. And these are actually really cool. These are legit lobby cards that have the movie poster and all the information of the movie, and then a still. These are like something you would walk into a theater back in the 70s and 80s and be able to pick up, have a little souvenir to come home with. Uh, I really like when Arrow puts a lot more effort into these instead of just including art cards. But this is these are all really, really fantastic. And then our reversible picture is this one right here. The whole gang back together, which is honestly super cool. And this has got to be a behind the scenes thing, huh? Because there was never really a point where the whole gang, like Zula and everybody, were hanging out with the queen. So I'm guessing this was made as a like a set photo. It was a something they took as promotional material, not an actual still from the film, which is actually pretty cool. And that actually might make me want to pull this out more. But still, I will die on the hill that I think that it doesn't make sense for them to include artwork on the inside of the cover because with a black case like this, because nobody is going to flip that and reverse it and have their case not be the cover art of the movie. It's a little bit ridiculous. Not a fan. All right, next up, this is going to be harder for me to show, but we have two posters. That is the beautiful thing about this. We get two posters. Which one are we starting with here? Is this Barbarian or we're going to start with Destroyer, I guess. We have the cover art, the movie poster, and then we get Boom, which I think that's actually no, it's a slightly different picture. But yeah, we get a full if you just want the full Arnold right there. You can have Conan all to yourself, and it's the same kind of thing with the poster for Barbarian. On the one side, we get the Barbarian cover art, and on the reverse, we get another a full Arnold. Now, these are if you guys have ever purchased an Arrow video set before, these are very high quality poster prints. The paper is thick, it is very high quality ink, very detailed. I absolutely love Arrow's posters when they do these kinds. Now, I do have other sets like Hugo that have a more like laminated poster, and I'm not a fan of that one, but these it's like the Donnie Darko poster. It's like the American Werewolf in London poster. It is a great poster. I just wish they'd figure out some way to not have to fold it up. I get why they do, but I wish they wouldn't. Then we have a book with Conan on this side and Conan on that side. How many pages is this? Looks like 117, 118. And we get all sorts of, I better be careful with flipping through this. There might be some boobies in here. We got some art, some stills, essays. Looks like a journal. It says like Tuesday, January 27th. Yeah, it's a killer book. Arrow always does a great job with their books. I'll read this eventually. Look at that. Look at Zula right there. I loved her. I wish that she was more involved with like character growth and stuff for Conan. Oh man, this set is just absolutely incredible. All right, and the last thing that I want to talk about with this amazing box set is the actual restoration and the picture quality. Now, this was restored from its original, I think, 35 millimeter negative. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Brand new 4K restoration of both films from the original negatives. I'm assuming 35 millimeter, might be 70. I don't think it was 70 though. I think it was probably 35. For both films, by is there any Okay, no like supervision from director or DP or anything like that, not even the editor, just Arrow going through and doing it themselves, I suppose. But they did a great job. They look beautiful, especially I will say that Barbarian looks better than Destroyer in my eyes. I there was a lot more scenes in Destroyer, but I think that I think that Destroyer was also shot in a way that was a little bit lower budget, a little more low quality than Barbarian was. I think that Barbarian was a really rambunctious feature and ambitious, and I think that I don't know, Destroyer felt a little bit more run of the mill, I guess. But they look great. I'm not a techie person. I don't know uh, how to break down exactly bit rates of discs and uh, UHD, HDR colorations and stuff. I do know these come with Dolby Vision HDR and HDR10. I watched it with Dolby Vision on my Sony X900H TV and X800M2 4K player, and they look great. I'm going to include a still here from my good friend Paul from Twinflix. He has the actual capabilities to, he has like a 4K player that does Dolby Vision stuff that he can hook up to a computer and screenshot from, like a whole editor setup and everything. He was a colorist on some movies. He's a great guy. He's a great content creator. Y'all go follow him. You can see right here the difference between the previously released Blu-rays and the new 4K scans. Yes, it's a little bit darker. Yes, it's a little more red and a little less, I guess, maybe blue toned. I'm not actually looking at this right now like you guys are. But the thing is, that darkness brings out the detail. It doesn't wash anything out. You get to actually see a lot of detail and it looks good. And from what I'm hearing, this looks pretty darn close to how these movies looked when they went to theaters in the first place. And that's the biggest benefit, I think, of 4K is being able to restore these movies to about as near close, if not pretty damn perfectly close to how they looked when you went to the theater in 1982 to see Conan the Barbarian. All right, everybody, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and drop me a comment down below. Let me know if you're gonna pick up this set. If you already did, did you get the Chronicles set or did you get them individually? I know some people were looking at getting them individually, paying that extra bit of money to get the two different box sets. I chose to go with the Chronicles because I loved the way it was set up, and I thought that it was a brilliant idea that they offered both for a little bit of a lower price. But yeah, so drop a like, leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to go subscribe to the Masters of Matinee YouTube channel because we are expanding into more territory than just podcasting. Although our podcast has grown, we are now a video podcast, but we also have other video content. There's a new show every Thursday called Disc Dinosaurs, where my co-host, Teo the Terminator, the creator of these shirts, and I go over the movie news and new releases coming up for the following week. That's every Thursday. Disc Dinosaurs on the Masters of Matinee YouTube channel. And then obviously every Tuesday, Blues Day, Masters of Matinee, new episodes dropping. And then there's also some other extra bonus content as well. Also, Masters of Matinee is now on TikTok. We're making new TikTok content every single day, all five of us. Go follow us over there if you got a TikTok. It's a fun time. All right, y'all. Don't forget, go to the link in the bio to check out the Terminal Etsy shop and pick up one of these amazing Movie Buddies shirts or any of the others. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoy this set because I really think this might be on my list for the top 10 4K box sets this coming year that I will be doing at the end of the year, because we're starting off 2024 with a freaking bang, man. This movie set is absolutely incredible. All right, y'all. I've babbled on enough. This is a long video. I'm so sorry for that. See ya. Bye. Go. What are you still doing here? Go. Go away. Subscribe. Bye.